begin. My friend, I'm sending you back into the game world, to the town of Fallcrest. Appear as a visage of yourself at age 17, and you're the only one who knows this world is a fantasy. Everyone else believes their reality to be the one true reality. You're living above a tavern on the south side of town called The Last Stand. You have a small closet room and a job washing dishes. In your free time, you've been training with the local monk, Brother Lee. You have a young pet dire rat, which you're keeping in secret. And you own a fine set of tailored clothes. You recently recovered an old tome from a ruined library called the Tome of the Hillfolk. It tells of the indigenous humans who lived in the Vale long before the settlers who built Fallcrest. Secretive, secluded, having their own language and customs, many lived in communion with the creatures of the Feywild. You appear in your small closet room above the tavern where you work as a dishwasher. It is dawn. It has taken some time to fully translate the writing on the Fey offering dish, but you believe it to say, "Bless this house and all within it."
Right.
You've had a few hours here and there to read the Tome of the Hillfolk, and there's a section on the Fey, more specifically, the proper use of an offering dish. An offering dish is a work of master craftsmanship, typically filled with cream from the milk of a goat and left out overnight on a windowsill. The cream must be less than a day old and from a healthy goat. But if there are any Fey nearby, they will smell it and perhaps be drawn to it. If all is done correctly, you might attract a pixie or a sprite. And if they partake of the offering, they are obliged by their ancient laws to give back in some way. This can come in the form of small repairs around the house or good fortune throughout your day.
Interesting.
If, however, you stop providing the offering, the Fey may become mischievous until the offering is restored. You read on to learn that many of the Fey are able to remain invisible to outsiders and have the power to put people into a deep sleep. It is considered rude to willfully spy on Fey as they partake of the offering. Such an offense might drive the Fey away, or worse, cause it to become mischievous or even malevolent.
These are both things I do not want to happen.
Exactly. The librarian who wrote the tome knew a man in Fallcrest who had left the Hillfolk to live among the civilized. He wouldn't say where to find the Hillfolk, but he spoke at length of their ways. It was from him that the author learned much of what became the Tome of the Hillfolk.
So I have to make sure I have a steady supply of this milk.
Right.
Before I just fire this off and all of a sudden I can't find it anymore.
Well, you've seen goats all over the place, and you know that goat's milk is the primary form of milk around town.
Oh, nice. Alright. Nothing to worry about.
Usually you can get a small jar or a small stein of milk for 3 copper at the market.
Okay.
Alright. Well, you are in your room. There's a hammer pounding downstairs. Stops after a while.
Sure. Alright, so let's go downstairs and find out who's pounding on the wall. Maybe they're putting up a quest board. That would be hilarious.
You head downstairs.
Get dressed in my nice clothes.
Very good. You head downstairs in your nice clothes. There's a few scuffs here and there from your quest to the old library. But looks very sharp still. You head downstairs, and on a post in the corner, there's a bulletin that's been posted announcing the formation of the Fallcrest Militia.
Interesting.
Training begins tomorrow morning in the field across from the tavern where you work. Training will last 3 days. If you pass, you'll have to return for training 1 day a month. Militia members will be expected to take orders from the town guard in cases of emergency. Benefits include a free set of armor, weapons, as well as free repairs to those armor and weapons in town, the cost being covered by the city. You will also receive discounts around town by presenting your militia seal. Your quest, the Fallcrest Militia. Complete 3 days of militia training. Do this, and you will receive proficiency in leather armor, short swords, light crossbows, as well as 5 luck points and 1 success point.
Crossbows.
Now, normally you meet Brother Lee in the morning for training. You head out?
Yep.
Alright. You meet him outside the ruined monastery. He tells you he's taking some time to rest and recover from a solid month of hauling stones. He tells you he believes you are ready to increase your workload if you wish. You could start carrying 2 stones up the ruined wall at a time.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I'm doing small talk. Like, I saw this posted. I'm gonna sign up, join the militia.
He tells you that when he's done recovering, that he can help you to refine what you've learned.
Excellent.
All right. Well, you've got some time.
So yeah. Carry stones for a while and they buy some. Write down goat's milk. So it was
3 copper. As a guy gets there bright and early, and milks a goat right in front, into a can, and then sells out portions of that. So we just hand wave it basically. You buy a little small stein and stein's worth, and
that's cool. It's be like part of his routine like it does with everything else.
yeah.
Sweet. No, that works.
Okay.
You can I just keep bringing this stein back.
Mm-hmm. No.
That's only 2 copper because you're bringing the container back.
Yeah, right.
He's recycling this guy. What a gentleman.
It's very green.
He's the hero Fallcrest needs. But yeah, I suppose at the end of the day,
Your day goes on uneventfully. You get some milk, go to work, wash some dishes, serve some plates, and at the end of the night, head upstairs. Now, you don't have a window in your room. You'd probably have to leave it on the windowsill of one of the other rooms. There are 4 rooms that the place rents out in the 2nd floor.
okay,
One of them is empty tonight.
use that one then.
All right?
I just walk into someone else's room. Don't mind me. So you put this right here. Don't touch it. I'll be back later. Sleep well. Awesome. Yeah, just leave it out then and
Okay.
put a do not disturb sign outside the door. They close it.
Head to bed. And you sleep through the night. And wake up feeling quite refreshed.
Like more than normal or just a good
A
night's
little more
sleep?
than normal.
Nice. I'll go check on the. Assuming the room's still empty. I would imagine, yeah. Walk inside the empty room and check on the bowl.
Well, first of all, what do you put on your nice clothes? Your dress
Oh
clothes?
yeah, I always do.
Okay.
Yep.
As you're putting them on, you realize the scuff marks and little tears
They're gone.
are gone.
That is awesome.
You peek in the room, take a look at the windowsill, and you see that the dish is still there. There's just a tiny little, residue of cream on the very bottom.
Awesome. I love it. All right.
You receive 3 luck points with conditions. These luck points are use 'em or lose 'em once per day within Fallcrest. They don't build up to 6 or 9 after a while. They just reset to 3 every time you put a new one out.
Oh, okay. Okay. Every time he supplies the milk. All right. It has to be within Fallcrest.
Yeah.
Obviously, because that's where the fee is. Nice.
All right. Head downstairs.
Yeah.
Oh, you take the dish, I imagine. You head downstairs. Carl's there with his with your pay. 5 copper. He stops you and asks you if you'd be willing to bartend for part of the night. That you could keep all the tips you make, and if you can't get to all the dishwashing, you can take care of it a little earlier the next day.
Sure, I'll help him out.
He seems pleased. He also looks particularly well rested. He's usually a little grouchy and has some bags under his eyes, but he looks...
A little more chipper today.
Yeah. And he tells you, you know what? You've been working here a while. You ain't missed a day. So, why don't you take that empty room?
For the night?
Nah.
What are you talking about?
As long as you're working here. He grabs the key
Oh.
and holds it out to you.
I thank him muchly. Politely as I can. Obviously, it's a very big deal for me.
Sure.
I have a nice room.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell him that whenever he needs help bartending and with anything else, I'm the inn. All
Sure.
I have to do is ask.
He appreciates that. Head on out.
See, there's like a room number to this. Or are we just gonna call it
What room number do you want? We'll say that's the one.
2? There's 4 rooms, right?
Yep, room
All
number
right.
2.
Sweet. Alright. That is awesome. Now this military thing, it's say like what time of day? Just in the morning, I just
Dawn.
go out to the field.
Says, yeah, first thing.
Make sure I got my staff.
Mm-hmm.
And we were good. Just walk over, see around this use all showing up, find out what the scene is,
Sure.
all that stuff.
You head on out, and you can see there's a group of people that have gathered over in this area right here, across from the tavern. And as you get closer, you see that there are 4 city guards. Looks like 10 or 11 more commoner looking people.
Is it like the volunteers, the people that signed up?
Yeah,
like me?
yeah, the militiamen. In various types of clothing. It looks like there. You see a couple dock workers. In fact, you see Brig
Brig is there?
is there.
Sweet.
You see a couple farmers, fishermen, and a couple people still coming from further on in the city. The 4 guards, well, one of the 4 guards is the captain of the guard. His name is Captain Hogsbane. He's a big, meaty dude. And the guard's armor is a blend of chain, leather, and a little plate here and there. There are 3 lieutenants that look like they're probably going to be doing training. And you recognize one of them as being the guard who comes in with the adventuring party.
Oh,
To sit and
right.
eat with them. He's one of them. And you've overheard that his name is Lieutenant Ripper. Hogsbane calls out for everyone to break off into groups, 3 and 4, as he instructs. You're in the middle group with Brig and Farmer. Your instructor is Lieutenant Ripper. There are 3 stacks of leather armor that have been broken down into pieces and stacked neatly in a way,
Okay.
with like the helmet on top, and
It's like a little uniform pile.
exactly, yeah, the most efficient way to stack it, basically. The lieutenants each demonstrate to their groups how to properly don the leather armor provided, and then how to remove it. They have you all practice donning and removing as quickly as you can. After nearly an hour, the trainees all line up to their neat stack of armor, and on their mark, you will all race each other to see who can don it most quickly. If you trail too far behind, you're out. And that's Hogsbane's call. Anyone's not up to snuff for any reason, he can boot you out.
That's fair.
Now, they announce that the winner, the person to don the armor, or to don and remove the most quickly, will win a free set of masterwork leather armor.
Oh, I gotta do this.
Well, there's going to be, I'll just tell you, there's going to be basically a masterwork prize for each day.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So you can get masterwork armor, masterwork sword and shield, and a masterwork crossbow.
Oh, oof. All right. That's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, so you may want to pick.
Yeah, I
This is what I want to.
I got the 3 special or less points.
Or you may roll very well and just need to
possible.
put a couple points in.
I could get super lucky and not have to spend anything.
It could happen. Absolutely.
It's not. Make believe that much though.
Right.
I got it.
Not likely.
I blew some points last time.
Yes, you did. You did.
So we'll see. Oh, that's exciting. All right.
All right. This is how the testing works. To pass, you need to make a DC of 10. We're talking just straight D20 rolls.
Okay.
If you pass with a DC of 10, you get 3 luck points. If you make a DC of 15, you do very well, and you get 5 luck points. Break a DC of 20, you are the first to be done. And you receive 7 luck points, as well as
I have to roll a 20.
the masterwork. Roll a 20, take it up to a 20 with luck points, or spend a success point.
Okay. Damn. So.
Now, I am granting a new ability that also comes with the Fey offering dish. That you can choose to spend 1 luck point to re-roll a d20 and take the better roll, whether that better be higher or lower. But that you can only use that with the 3 luck points that they grant.
They cut it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. There you go.
As everyone's training, a small crowd kind of gathers a little off to the side nearby, just kind of watching. You know, it's something to watch.
Yeah, it's a big town. There's not a lot going on.
About half a dozen people.
You would think people join the military since so many showed up.
Yeah.
It's like almost like an event.
yeah, a little bit, and they're kind of eagerly watching, and a little kind of like they're guessing, and who's gonna do the best.
All right.
Comes down to the roll.
That's terrible. That's not what I want at all.
You may want to spend a luck point to re-roll that one.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, that's not how I want to start this game. So, take 2. Hopefully not 3. All right, I can work with.
That's more like it.
I can work with. All right, let's bump it up 4.
Bump it up to 4 to make it a 20.
20.
And that means you are the very first to hastily don and remove your armor, placing it back neatly in the stack as you found it. And the moment you do, it gets a little mini roar from the small crowd as they kind of cheer on the first guy to do it.
Sweet. I take a little bow. Some of these people see me around town. They know me a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's me.
In fact, you recognize a couple of them, and you walk by here and there.
Sweet.
The rest, the few are just a little bit behind you.
How'd Brig do?
Brig did right down the middle, but he passes, and
Cool.
only one person does not. Fisherman, who's on one of the other teams, from one of the other groups.
That was pretty much the guy that did it slowest.
Mm-hmm. And Hogsbane calls out his name and tells him he's out. Tells them as he goes, can try again in a month.
All right. I'll win. I'm not sure how this works.
They bring you over a backpack. Kind of more like actually not a backpack, like a leather satchel with the armor stacked inside.
So, rest of the day goes to work, bartends for a while. We can get to that.
It goes, indeed, yeah.
Not sure if it's going to be like a continue rest of the day, if there's something that's going to happen during the bartending.
A little bit during the bar. So when you're the first to So when you're the first to pass, Hogsbane calls out your name. He calls out your name, calls out, Scott Grayman, the winner! People nearby give cheers. A couple of people slow down as they're still hastily looking. They got beat. Then they could continue on. And afterwards, Brig gives you a pat on the back. Congratulates you.
Thank him. Just awesome.
That's how I roll.
They got no man though.
How I roll. Double meaning. You don't get it because you're part of the game.
It's gonna be you, buddy.
You get to the bar. And you get to work. You start off by washing dishes, but the owner and bartender, Carl, tells you he wants to head to bed a little earlier tonight. So once he heads off, you'll take over for him. And you can finish up dishes tomorrow.
I agree. I agreed to before.
Sure.
Start pouring everyone the raw drinks.
Well, there's only a few things to choose from, and you know what to do just from being around and watching Carl do it. And just it's not rocket science. It's more about having a good attitude and being personable. And people come in. Most people, first thing they ask is, where's Carl?
Tell them that I just get an early night. I make conversation. I like to believe I can make conversation pretty much like small talk.
Yeah,
How's it going?
absolutely.
Blah blah. And a nice back and forth.
Well, they're there to drink more than
Right.
anything, so they.
That's what makes it so easy to talk to them.
Exactly.
Very comfortable and handle
They get
drinks.
easier and easier to
Yeah.
talk to. In fact.
Do you know what you could use, Fred? I'm another drink.
So people come in, they drink, they talk amongst themselves, occasionally ask your opinion on things. It's mostly local gossip, but people love to talk about the adventurers. And you learn some things about them just overhearing so many conversations. You learn that the adventurers were hired by the town council to clear out infested ruins in and around Fallcrest. They are led by Aramil, the Elven Ranger. It is said he is from the Harkenwood and has traveled the area for 150 years. He travels with a deer, a large stag, who never comes into town. It is illegal to hunt this particular stag.
This is from his woods.
Yes,
Steaks from his woods.
animal companion.
Nice. Yeah, I kind of figured. That's cool.
The dwarf is Lorik Longbeard, a tunnel guard from the mines of Hammerfast. He left to see what the rest of the Vale had to offer, and he's killed many dangerous denizens of the deep, and is a formidable warrior. The farm girl, it turns out, is a healer, touched by the goddess Shantia. Her name is Rose Pickett. She has no combat skills, and only recently received her healing powers.
Interesting.
Just a year ago, she was a normal 16-year-old farm girl, planning to marry a boy from a neighboring farm. All that changed when she received the Divine Spark, and chose to use it for the betterment of the Vale. And right now that means helping to restore Fallcrest. The night goes on, it gets busy for a while, and then as it gets later, it tapers off. Till there's nobody left, and time to shut down. However, during the course of the night, you receive 1d6 silver in tips.
Sweet. This is something I can add luck points to or no?
You can add, you have 2
Yeah,
luck
just
points
play.
left that you could re-roll.
Alright, let's do it. I'll take a 5.
Take a 5?
Yeah.
Alright. Alright, the next day, you arrive at the training grounds to find a crowd of a dozen locals gathered nearby, waiting, ready to watch the militia training. To pass the sword and shield training, you'll need to demonstrate basic competency with a dulled short sword and a medium wooden shield. The lieutenants work with the trainees individually, showing them how to slash and thrust while keeping their shields up. You're not allowed to fight each other for obvious reasons. After an hour or so, the lieutenants test you individually on your attacks and defense. Captain Hogsbane will observe and determine who has the best form. That person will win a masterwork short sword and a masterwork wooden shield. So it comes to a roll. Same as before.
I gotta go for it.
Mm.
Be foolish not to.
Mm.
Alright. Not a 2. Well, it's technically not a 2.
Technically.
Spend a point to reroll that.
Okay.
I think we can do a little better than 7.
We'll see.
Never know. You're interfering.
I understand. Oh, man!
Oh!
I was gonna say maybe you'll get another 2, but I was afraid I'd jinx it. I guess it didn't matter.
Kicked when I'm down. Kicked when I'm down.
Ooh.
Now if I spend a success point, does that make it a 20? Does that make it a 10?
Makes it a 20. I'd spend another luck point to re-roll it just to see
Yeah.
if you get a higher one.
I agree. If I get 2 of this dice, it's going out the window. Well, it's not 2. Alright, I think we're done
I
here.
need to retire that one early.
Oh, alright. Success point.
Well, you spend your first success point.
That's true, it is
Mhm.
the first, so.
And after nearly getting your head cut off, you take it back
I
around.
I fumble so much as you hit the ground, kill myself, come back to life, fumble around some more, and then just like become a pro.
No, with that success point, you go straight to pro. And,
It's a night and day difference. Oh, that was awful.
after everyone is tested, they all line up. And Hogsbane calls out, Scott Graymond, winner!
By a long shot.
Incredible how well he did. And you are, people, the crowd that's around cheers, and some of the people, some of the other militia trainees, kind of like, oh, fuck, shit, they're really trying for it. But again, Brig, who did a little better than average with this one, gives you another pat on the back. That's good work.
Just killing it up there. Alright, I thank him. Take a bow again. I think I'm start doing that just to roll.
Alright. Carl asks you again to watch the bar, get an early night's sleep. And that night, you get a lot of people talking about the militia, and some people who were there watching show up to drink and recognize you from there, and thank you for signing up to help protect the town. So,
It's doing my job, man.
so your I guess little renown you have is
Kind of growing.
Kind of.
Perfect. Exactly what I want.
Mm.
You gotta start somewhere, baby.
Exactly. The only real rumor or anything, or the only real news you overhear, is that a group of dwarves is coming in from Hammerfast to begin rebuilding the wall. They're expected to be here in a few weeks. The next morning, the dishes that have yet to be finished have all been cleaned and neatly stacked.
That's kind of smile and go about my day
Sure.
knowingly. Still get complimented by Carl. Man, you did the dishes and everything right there. What's going on with you?
Incredible. You arrive at the training grounds to find a crowd of 30 or so locals gathered to watch the militia.
Is the guy selling peanuts getting so popular?
In fact, you do see a few vendors from the markets who are out there
Brilliant.
selling. You even see Nim taking bets.
Oh,
amongst the
hey,
people.
there you go. I'm surprised he wasn't here from the get-go.
He's here now.
I can make money off this. That's awesome.
Yeah. Even a guy from the exotic ales place brought a keg over and is quickly selling out to the people who now have an excuse to drink in the morning.
Yeah.
Each trainee receives a light crossbow and a quiver of 10 bolts. You are instructed on how to hold it, how to load it, and how to fire it while standing, kneeling, and lying on the ground. Targets are set up at 20, 50, and 80-foot marks. You each train for an hour or so. Until Hogsbane calls everyone together and says that testing will begin. To the person with the best form and highest score, they will get a masterwork crossbow with 2 quivers of 10 bolts.
2 dice.
Nice.
The other one was
Yes.
Alright, I can live with that.
There you go.
Alright, spend 1, get 6.
Once again, Hogsbane calls out your name at the end, declaring you the winner. And you are presented the Masterwork crossbow. The crowd hoots, hollers, and cheers loudly, drunkenly, some of them. Hogsbane calls for the trainees to line up. As you line up here by the tree line, facing outward by the road and the group of people over here watching. By the end, 7 remain, yourself included. Everyone in your group passed. Hogsbane has 7 seals of the town.
Are you talking like a cloak clasp or like a necklace?
Not like necklaces, yeah. He holds 7 of them and walks along the lineup, passing them out to each one of you. And as he's about to hand out the last one, 3 arrows fly out from the tree line towards the backs of the trainees. You are not struck, but the farmer beside you takes one to the back, falls forward, crying out in pain.
I spin around, reacting first to him, and kind of freaking out, and then completely turn around.
Everyone is kind of reacting very quickly to all this as it happens. You turn around, you see very quickly motion, rustling, a small ways back into the tree line. You see bodies kind of pulling back behind trees.
What I'm going to do is, I'm not in charge here. I'm essentially going to kind of like freeze frame and see if the commander says anything. He's obviously going to take control here, like give commands. So I'm basically just going to prepare.
Look towards the leader, basically.
Yep.
All right. The people kind of realize last what's happening, and the cheers turn to gasps. Hogsbane barks out for the 3 lieutenants to group up and head into the tree line. Now, all the trainees, they all have all their gear on right now.
Right.
You have
It's kind of
the
like
finest
graduation.
gear of all of it. Yeah, exactly. You got the masterwork stuff on. Lieutenant Ripper calls for you and Brig to guard his flanks and follow him in. You see that 2 others, 3 in total, have been struck in the back by arrows and going down to the ground. Your group, kind of in the middle of all this. Pick a die to place yourself. There's the tree line there. There are 2 other groups. People who haven't been struck by arrows, each being led by the lieutenant. You're in the center group.
Okay. I'm going to say his left.
You're on his left? Okay. Keep your shield up.
Yeah, I
Stay
basically
close.
keep it like right above.
As you're moving in towards the tree line, a large orc with pale gray skin, face covered with war paint, and is carrying a composite composite short bow, which looks almost as big as a longbow. This massive frame. These are more like the Urukai orc looking than the little minions. Peers out from behind a tree and fires towards your group. Now, Ripper has his shield up as well, so you basically got 3 shields out front. The arrow flies out. It goes low and strikes Brig in the calf. At which point he grunts with pain and goes down. Ripper tells him to stay down. Keep low.
Now, as this is going on, I only see the one orc so far.
Another moment passes, and you see movement out past over here, or over here, and over here. You see movement of orcs, like ducking behind trees.
All right. Greg used to be a guard, but he took an arrow in the knee. So he retired at graduation. That's fucking hilarious. Okay, so what are we, about 10 feet, so this thing's like 25 feet away or so.
25, 30 feet away, yeah. And there's underbrush and stuff that you can't run quite as fast as you normally would. This is happening right here.
Right.
So there's some woods behind here, and then the cliffs or the bluffs over here. Continue to charge forward.
Stay side by side with the Ripper.
He barks at you to flank the orc. On his mark to charge. Split up and charge.
Right.
Which side do you go to? You keep going to the left?
We can
Cross? Alright. Alright, you go to the right. Goes to the left.
Maybe like hunker down and like...
Sure. The orc pulls back behind the tree.
So now he's got 2 people coming in both ways. He's got to think what to do. So, this is very exciting.
You both charge past the tree to reconvene on the other side.
Because I'm not sure where he's going to be facing. So as I'm coming around the tree, I want to like start running, like turn to the side and like put the shield just kind of center mass. And then have the sword out here in case, and then depending on what happens, if I can make an attack, I can move. But if I have to block, I'm already to do that too.
Gotcha. I'm gonna roll to
It's all
see.
slow motion like anime.
Yeah, totally.
Leaves falling slow mo.
High right, low left. For which way he springs out. So he will have. So as you charge around, you see him springing out to attack Ripper, exposing part of his back and his flank to you as he does so. And you see that he has dropped the bow on the ground, and he has picked up. He's got an axe that he's whipped out from a belt, leather belt that he has, and he's got some skulls and bones, some leather crisscrossed armor, but it's just pretty bare, pretty basic. It spins around to attack the lieutenant.
All right, now how are we doing initiative for this scene?
I say you have an automatic attack of opportunity on him since he's exposed that to you. Let's all roll together to see who hits who first.
This initiative or is this
Initiative.
Right. 17.
17. It's like you have the highest. So Ripper's got his shield up and a sword out ready to swing in at him. And he's got an axe just swinging straight for him, ready. But you are quicker than both of them and can take action before either strike the other.
What I'd like to do is, since I'm not a really big guy, and this dude is I'm going to try to do is, when I come in, I'll point the sword down and basically kind of like stab into it in his back somewhere. And just almost fall onto it, like use my weight to follow through.
You like dig it up into the ribs?
Yeah.
Rib cage? For that attack, I'll say AC 17.
Chase myself.
Damage will automatically be doubled since you're basically carving into internal organs here. You just
move.
give everything you got.
Yep.
So, if you roll a 5 or higher, he's dead.
He dies somehow?
He dies from it.
Okay, 5 or higher, huh? Say maybe I hit him just right that severs his spinal cord somehow.
Yeah,
In a
absolutely.
way that just disables him, and I'm not sure if 75 high would have killed him, but something, I don't know. That would make sense.
It severs straight through.
So I can think of that would be like good.
And what Ripper sees as he comes around the corner is a massive orc about to swing a devastating axe down towards him. But as his arm raises, it thrusts not at him, but downward, and then revealing you standing behind him, the sword thrust into his back, piercing through.
Right through his chest, yeah.
And as you almost a little bit through, and as he falls down, you kind of collapse with him with a follow through, and it digs the sword even deeper in and sinks to the hilt.
I'm panting heavily because this is very intense for my guy, obviously.
Yeah,
This
absolutely.
is life and death. This isn't a sail on a bridge.
Right, no. And the lieutenant looks down at you, shocked. And, you all right?
I nod and ask him if he's okay as I start to
nods
stand up and
quickly.
slowly,
Yeah.
with probably an effort, pull the sword out.
Yeah, as it comes out, and the orc just his hand twitches on the axe. You see 2 more orcs who look like they're retreating, running back. You kind of see them between trees, as they kind of pass. It gets thicker and thicker as it goes. And there are other groups that are charging and seem to be in pursuit of them. And he just keeps on running and says, "Shield up, at my side." Left or right?
We'll do left again.
Left. All right. You run and chase after. And you chase all the way to the bluffs, all the way to the base, the rocky base of the slopes, where you see one of the orcs dash behind a large boulder. It's kind of an outcropping.
So we get out of the woods.
Yeah, you're just on the base, just at the edge of the other edge of the tree line. As you get closer, it looks like there's a very narrow and fairly well concealed cave entrance.
Ooh, we have a little base here.
And the 2 of you are the first to arrive. And you can hear the others coming up behind you, but you're the first to arrive.
Alright.
But it's dark, and you can't see much past. Yeah, orcs see much better in the dark.
I pause and basically look to Ripper and see, kind of give him like a what now look. Maybe we can go in, but
Sure.
maybe we should regroup or something.
He says, "I'm going in. Follow behind me."
Alright.
And then he has to kind of turn sideways almost to get in. Kind of have to arch around a little bit because it's not just a standard cave entrance. It's kind of sloped and curved and jagged. But once you get through, it kind of evens out a little to a slightly broader cave. And there's just a little light coming in from the inside, just barely enough to light the 30-foot cavern. Rough, rocky dome, stalagmites, stalactites. And at the center, there is a hole that descends down into darkness. Beside it, there's a rope tied around the base of a stalagmite that is descending into the hole. And as you get in, you can just barely see the hands of one of the orcs lowering himself down. Calls out to you, or orders you to help him cut the rope. He pulls out his sword, runs over to the stalagmite, and starts just hacking. It's a big, thick rope, so it's going to take more than a few hacks, but...
Brilliant. We basically both take it like from the side,
Yeah.
and then just kind of...
Yeah, he takes a hack, you take a hack, he takes a hack, you take a hack. It's a big, thick, old rope, so you have to hack, each have to hack at it a few times, but eventually it starts twisting, gets tighter and tighter, and strands start popping, And with one last strike, you sever the rope, and you're scraping, and then a few moments later, crunch, collapse, echoes up.
5 experience floats up from the wall. Well, at least they can't come back out. I asked him if he knew about this place at all.
He says there's probably 100 small cave entrances along this stretch of land.
Interesting.
So, well, we know now. I expect the city will want to seal it. Shortly thereafter, everybody kind of reconvenes outside. Hogsbane goes in to take a look. Comes back out a minute later. And tells him to post a guard. And one militia volunteer, if they can get it, to remain here, guarding this entrance until it can be sealed. Well, there'll be shifts, of course, but we need someone. And he asked if there's any volunteers to stand in guard right now for the first shift.
I'll do that.
The lieutenant volunteers himself, so it'll be you and him standing guard there.
Awesome. Become best friends over the night. Trade stories. Braid each other's hair.
The two of you stand guard for a few hours. Nothing else happens. Don't hear anything. Don't see anything unusual anyways. You make a little conversation, banter here,
Yeah, sure, just
back and forth.
If there's nothing else to pass time.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they gotta learn something. I have to talk about now, but about the Venturers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Guys, so I can maybe get some more backstory about them, which reminds me, at some point, I don't know if you have it written out, I like all their names and everything.
Yeah,
The
I'll get all
classes,
that to you, yeah.
all that information.
In fact, he tells you that he expects that the wounded will be taken to the picket farm to be healed. by
That's where
Rose.
she lives.
Yeah,
Is that like somewhere on the map, or just like whatever?
it's off the map.
Okay. Oh, okay.
It's a short ways outside of town.
It's off the grid.
Mm-hmm.
Because on these Ventures now, do they live in town or they come and go?
There's a house that the city gave to them in Hightown. That's basically kind of like a lodge where they kind of a headquarters for them, where they can all sleep if they wish to. But usually Rose stays on the farm, and usually Aramil stays outside of town in the woods. So it's usually just the dwarf, and occasionally Ripper will stay there as well, because he goes out with the adventuring party more often than not.
Sweet. That's where they meet up when.
Oh yeah, when they're planning an adventure or a quest or something like that, they'll all gather there. Sometimes spend the night there if they're going to head out the next morning together. But they also mostly have places that they secondary places that they stay.
The sign out front says Adventurers Club. It swings back and forth. Little shield with 2 swords.
Alright. Well, your shift passes uneventfully. And head back to work.
I thought you meant work shift. Sorry, I was about to roll for money.
Yeah, you roll for it. And, people are pretty somber about what happened today, but they're glad that
No one died.
No one died. There were no deaths.
Yeah, it's almost the end of the night, right?
People want to hear the story. People want to hear what happened. And, you
I
have...
exaggerate. I plunged my sword to his back, lifted him into the air, and threw him 20 yards.
In fact, I'm going to double the silver that you make that night.
Cool.
Because you had such a great story to tell, and we're...
That would make
part
sense.
of the action.
And not to mention, I did good for the city.
Yeah.
Sweet. That's totes fair.
And by the end of the night, at least half the town knows your name. Well, here's a list of the militiamen and where they can be found. On top of being given a seal, everyone gets a horn of alarm, only to be used in actual alarms, such as an attack on the town or a fire. For completing the militia quest, you receive 5 luck points, 1 success point. For increasing your climbing regiment, your strength and your constitution each are raised by 1. You also receive a +1 to your charisma from working at the bar.
Sweet.
And continuing to work at the bar will slowly also continue to increase your charisma. You also get a +1 to intelligence from reading the tome so often. And if you train with Brother Lee, you can get a +1 to your attack. Now, right now, it's just kind of a +0. You have proficiency, so there's no negatives, but it's a +0. Train with Brother Lee, you'll get a +1 to the attack. Well, at the end of your shift, the tavern clears out. You trudge up to your new room above the tavern. Skaven is curling up for the night. Exhausted, you crash down in your bed. And that is where you leave Fallcrest, returning once again to your native reality. Thank you for playing.
Thank you.